Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm dealing with a company that is a huge name in audio, but not necessarily a huge name in streaming audio. I'm talking about JBL and their new mic, the JBL Quantum Stream. Now, anybody who knows anything about JBL products knows they make a ton of headsets for gaming and are a pretty big market share in all other everyday audio, like speakers and things like that. But they decided to throw their hat into the streaming space with this microphone. They've kept it very simple. In the box, all you get is the mic and the stand, a USB cable, and the quick start guide. The mic itself is fairly light, feels very cheap if you want to listen here. The knob also, it's clicky, which I like, but it doesn't feel really solid. The mic stand is detachable, so it can be put on an arm. Now that it's actually detached too, I can feel this is the most of the weight of this. This feels like super duper light in my hands right now. Underneath, you'll also see a USB-C port as well as a headphone jack for zero latency monitoring. You'll also see a white strip going around the entire bottom of the microphone. This appears to be the only RGB on the mic. It comes out just a little bit from the bottom of the microphone, so you'll be able to see it even when it's mounted. And then on the very top, you've got a capacitive mute button here. Okay, let's get this thing plugged in and hear what we're dealing with. Okay, so we're up and running. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt though, I'm gonna be honest with you, because my mic arm, the Elgato Wave mic arm LP, has this little ring on it that allows me to tighten the microphone when I set it up. But the problem is this comes out too wide to be able to plug in either the USB or the headphones. So I had to take it off. And even then it was really close because there's another built-in ring under here. They're kind of stressing right now. I wouldn't want to move it around too much. I don't want to risk that. That's just something for everybody to think about if they're thinking about getting this mic and they have a similar mic arm that has a piece kind of like this. And you can see that the RGB doesn't show up very well based on the angle that we're on. If it was higher up, you'd be able to see this little lip here. But because I have to keep it even with my mouth, you just can't do that. Now, the nice thing is you're at least getting a little bit of shine off of here, but that's really all you're going to get. So what we're listening to right now is one of the two polar patterns you can select on here. The default is cardioid, which I recommend all the time for any condenser microphone. They pick up enough room noise as it is. You don't want it picking up more. There's actually two capsules in the microphone, one going either way. So if I turn on the omnidirectional, which we're going to do in a second, you're going to hear everything going in this way, which means you're going to be listening to the hum of my computer even more so, and things like that. So now this is what that sounds like. Now you can see that I'm fighting against fans and all these kind of things. It almost sounds like I'm inside an airplane at this point, which, you know, if you're playing Flight Simulator as your stream, maybe that's not a bad idea. But let's go back to the cardioid. If you want to adjust either the gain or the headphone volume on the microphone, you just press in the button here and it'll change the color. So right now I'm listening to the microphone volume, but when you turn it down, it actually dims the LED at the exact same time, which is really cool. It gives you some kind of visual reference as to what's going on. And the purple light represents the mic gain, doing the same thing. Now that I actually have this up on the mic arm, when you're adjusting this knob and things like that, that's how you're really starting to feel how cheap the overall build of the microphone is. So now I think we can put this mic through one last test, which is our usual saying of the phrases, so let's do that right now. The small pup, not a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Pressed the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. Okay, I'm gonna go listen to that, and while I'm doing that, why don't you consider, you know, going down there and hitting the like and subscribe? I mean, you made it this far. Okay, so I had to listen. It's pretty much what I expected. It wasn't the best on my voice right out of the box. Picking up a lot of room noise, that's to be expected with a condenser, so understood. But before we take the next steps and actually put it through a little processing, I wanted to show you something else. The Quantum Stream is a part of a series of Quantum products from JBL, and they have software for it. This is the Quantum engine, which I really like the look of this UI, by the way, the hologram version of the Quantum Stream sitting in the corner there, and just the kind of overall computery, like status kind of look. I don't know, I like it. So from here, you can physically turn the microphone on and off. You can adjust the mic volume and the side tone. That's the ability to listen into your headphones. It actually comes off. So you're sitting around messing with the microphone without actually using the software. I wasn't able to get it on until I turned it on here. You can set your polar patterns here rather than doing it on the mic, so you don't have that loud clicky thing when you click in on it. It does have an equalizer inside, and it has some presets here, so you can do a little bit of messing around with it like so. You can adjust some of the lighting settings here for both the mic muted lights, the mic unmuted lights, and just the overall brightness. You have some software options here, and then just your basic help. So it's a simple software, but it's software nonetheless. I mean, JBL already had this software for its headset, so they just included the Quantum Stream in that. But other companies like Razer with their Razer Siren Mini, which is probably my favorite budget mic still to date, doesn't have that software support, despite the fact that Razer has software for its microphones. So good on them for that, at least. Let's go ahead and take that mic test now. We're going to put it through the usual processing. We're going to put it through OBS, which I've already previously recorded, and then I'm going to run it through processing in DaVinci Resolve. The small pup, not a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Pressed the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Pressed the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. Okay, it was slightly different results than I was expecting initially. I thought we were going to have really, really bad OBS processing because you always have that thing when the noise rushes back in and it causes a lot of like bump. It happened one time where you had to, but for the most part, it was okay. I mean, again, the noise rushes in when I'm talking, but if you're playing music and stuff like that over it, you're not going to notice that as much. It's all those other little attacks that become more disruptive, and that didn't happen as much on this one, which was pretty nice. But for what I did in the DaVinci Resolve, I utilized their Fairlight noise reduction with the voice mode turned on, so that kind of automatically just takes my voice and takes everything else and gets rid of it. But I had to over process it a little bit, so at the beginning you hear a few brief moments of little digitization of my voice, but for the most part it made it sound pretty okay. So the mic comes in at $79.95 US, which is a little bit higher than some of the other budget ones I've done in the past. It's more cheaply built than some other cheaper microphones out there. Again, I throw out the Razer Siren Mini, it was solidly built. This issue underneath with me not being able to properly plug in my cables was, a little problematic. Having to take parts off of my arm to make the microphone work. It's less than convenient, but let me know what you guys thought about the mic down in the comments. I'm interested in hearing. Again, if we've made it this far and you haven't hit the like and subscribe already, do that now. Might as well. I'll wait. And if you want to see a couple of videos of some other budget microphones I did in the past, you can check these guys out. Until next time, gang, let's get to work.